Looks like we've got some angels in the crowd tonight. Well, that's great, because I've got something I've got to say. I got something to say to you, but I get all caught up in my head. I don't know how to convey it to you. I'm overwhelmed by the possibility of our connectivity.
Hey, I've got a question for you. Is the Bible real, or have we been reading it the wrong way? Is the Bible true? Not is it popular, not do millions of people read it or believe it, but is it actually true? And perhaps another even better question is, what do we mean by true? Does something have to be historically perfect to contain profound wisdom? Can a story transform your life even if you don't read every line literally? Today I want to invite you into one of the most important conversations we can have. Not about whether we should throw the Bible away, but whether we've been taught how to read it. Before anyone rushes to the comments, I love the Bible. It's challenged me, it's confronted me, it's corrected me, it's inspired me and confused me. The teachings of Christ have profoundly shaped the way I see love, forgiveness, compassion, and what it means to be truly human. But loving something doesn't mean we stop asking questions about it. In fact, real love welcomes honest questions. The Bible wasn't written by one person. It wasn't written in one language. And it wasn't written in one century. It is a library of books, letters, poems, songs, wisdom, literature, prophecy, history, and personal accounts written over hundreds of years. Then it was copied, and then it was translated, and it was copied again, and then it was translated again, and eventually gathered into the collection we now call the Bible. But that journey matters, don't you think? Because every translation involves choices, and every copyist was human. Every culture reads through its own assumptions. That doesn't mean the Bible has no value, though. It means we should approach it with both humility and wisdom and discernment. Now, here's the question that changed everything for me. What if the Bible wasn't written primarily to give us information? What if it was written to bring transformation? Think about Christ. How often did Christ answer a question with another question? How often were stories told instead of lectures? Now, why? Because parables don't just give answers. They invite you to discover something within yourself. Perhaps much of the scripture works the same way, not merely as a record of events, but as a mirror that reveals the human condition. When I read Exodus, I don't only see people leaving Egypt, I see every person trying to leave fear behind. When I read about Goliath, I don't just see a giant, I see the fears that stand between us and the life we were called to live. When I read about wandering in the wilderness, I recognize seasons in my own life. The Bible becomes more than history. It becomes an inner journey, a conversation with the soul. Now, let's also be honest. There are passages in the Bible that many people struggle with, including myself. Stories involving slavery, violence, war, bad treatment of women, and condemnation of sexuality. These passages have been used throughout history to justify terrible things. That has happened, and we shouldn't pretend otherwise. The question is, does describing something mean God approves of it? Or are some passages showing us what humanity looked like in a particular time and in its cultures? The Bible contains stories about real people, and real people are capable of incredible love and incredible harm. Perhaps Scripture doesn't only reveal the nature of God. Perhaps it also reveals the evolving nature of humanity. This is why context matters. Language matters. History matters. Genres matter. And above all, the life and teachings of Christ matter. Because when I struggle with a passage, I return to the question, does this reflect the love, mercy, compassion, forgiveness, and justice that Christ embodied? If it doesn't, perhaps I need to study more deeply before assuming I've understood it. I don't believe questioning the Bible weakens our faith, not at all. I believe it matures our faith. A faith that cannot ask questions becomes fragile and controlled. A faith willing to wrestle with the truth becomes resilient and it's open. So is the Bible real? Yes. It is a real collection of ancient writings that has shaped civilizations and transformed countless lives. Is every interpretation real? No, not at all. Human beings interpret. Human beings disagree. Human beings bring their own fears, cultures, bias, and agendas to every text. Perhaps the invitation isn't to worship the book, guys, girls. Perhaps the invitation is to allow the wisdom within it to transform the heart. Maybe Scripture is less like a rule book and more like a doorway a doorway inviting us into a deeper relationship with the truth, with love, with one another, and with the Creator. And perhaps the greatest question isn't, do I believe every verse literally? Perhaps it's, am I becoming more loving, more compassionate, more just, and more like the example Christ gave? Because if reading the Bible doesn't make us more loving, we may have learnt the words without discovering the wisdom. Think about that. If these conversations challenge you to think more deeply, subscribe to LoveLight Kingdom's All Souls Gathering. This isn't a place where questions are feared. It's a place where they're welcomed. Share your thoughts in the comments, but let's do it with humility, curiosity, and respect, please. We grow best when we listen as well as speak. Now, I want you to remember something. You are human by form, soul by nature, a seeker by design. Read deeply, question honestly, love courageously, and wherever your journey leads, may it lead you closer to truth, compassion, and wisdom. Welcome to LoveLight Kingdom's All Souls Gathering, where we focus on the heart and what it carries, and where all souls are welcome.